Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is May the 3rd, 2026. Hopefully this episode finds you well, in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Happy Sunday. Hopefully it's been a fun day for you. Hopefully May is treating you well so far. And your weekend was great and good. Mine was awesome. It was wonderful. Let's go ahead and start from the top of this weekend and we can just kind of work our way through it. I feel like most of my focus is going to be via the food that I ate because it was very, very yummy. We had a very yummy weekend. On top of it being very fun. But starting off Friday night, I go to work. We should start from the top. I really was going to get to the food part, but we started work, and work was pretty chill. I wind up getting out, I think, around an hour early or so. I go to the gym. I get a good 30-minute workout in, and I go ahead and just head home. Then get myself ready. And then I head to go see my beautiful girlfriend. Yeah. And we just hang out. And we did order some food and went and picked it up. We went to Buffalo Rings and Wings and ordered an array of boneless wings. I can barely remember the all of them. I definitely can't remember all of them, but I know that I got the sweet habanero and then the buffalo, and I cannot remember the two that Zoe got, but she also got garlic parmesan fries and some fried pickles that she split with me. They were very yummy, very good. And I think that's ranch sauce on the side, and then I got some blue cheese for me. Let's see. And then we proceeded to watch, and this is pretty much what we watched for the whole weekend. I'm getting back into Survivor because I realized that there's this app called Pluto TV, which I gotta say straight up, not the best app, kind of annoying as an app. But I will say, with some commercials, they let you watch a bunch of seasons of Survivor. So I'm kind of down to binge this. And Zoe's like, bet, let's go. And I'm like, let's go. I'm so hyped. I'm very hyped. I'm very hyped to talk about Survivor. I'm very hyped to watch Survivor. And I can already tell it starts at season 25. I've seen this season, but I don't remember many of the details. So it's nice to kind of just kind of re-experience it, but kind of also experience it for the first time again. It's weird. It's nice. And then we also did watch a show, granted not Friday, but we did watch it later on, called Neighbors, that you put me on. I think it's an HBO show. Very interesting. It's essentially these really hot, dramatic, controversial, not controversial, that's not the right word, but just high drama situations between essentially two neighbors that can affect the whole neighborhood. Very interesting stories. It's I think two neighborhoods each episode, I think. So that's an interesting episode, interesting series. But let's see here. Kind of focusing on the rest of Friday night. Was there anything else? No. So we can move on to Saturday. Saturday, we went to Pancake House because I already wanted to go back. The Pancake Mania is a little real. And plus original Pancake House is yummy. So we went, and this time I switched up the order. I got bacon, the original buttermilk pancakes, and I got 6 of them things. And then I got some oatmeal. And then I was feeling adventurous because I had never had a Dutch baby before. And I was like, I want to try a Dutch baby. Let's mark this off my bucket list. And so I ordered that. I can't remember all of Zoe's order. I think she got chocolate chip pancakes. She got some potatoes, the cheesy pepper potatoes last time, and some Gouda. I'm pretty sure that was her order. And the objective was to split the Dutch baby. And the waitress let me know, they're like, oh, the Dutch baby is pretty big. And I was like, oh yeah, we're splitting it anyway. That's fine. That's okay. But I'm thinking it's like this big, long, like thin kind of thing. I just really wasn't sure exactly, what I was getting into. So we get it, and it looks cute, and it's like covered in this like I think like this powdered sugar. They gave us extra powdered sugar and lemons, and I don't know what the lemon was for. But like I take one bite of it and I'm immediately like I can't even lie to you, I'm icked out. I'm icked the fuck out about it. I don't like it. And then like I start inspecting it a little bit, and we both start inspecting it because Zoe tries it and she also isn't liking it. And I think she'd remember when she was younger. She's like, yeah, that was nice then, but there's just something about this. And so I said, hey, just eat as much of it as you want. And like it was like the more that we were eating and then keep like trying to come back to it, like I stopped early, maybe 2 or 3 bites, but like we would just kind of keep revisiting it, and just we were getting mad at it because we just didn't like it. It didn't look appealing when you would like look under the other layers. Like it has like a French toasty vibe, but I think it's like too eggy for me. Like it just wasn't, it wasn't vibing. But that aside, Dutch baby aside, the order was phenomenal. I think that that's definitely my go-to order, sans Dutch baby. There's definitely maybe some other things I want to try for sure. They have a potato pancake there. Pancake House ain't playing, but the Dutch baby ain't it. I gotta say it. The oatmeal, because I'm a big sucker for oatmeal. I'm an oatmeal guy actually, and the oatmeal was hitting. It had raisins. They gave me the brown sugar that I needed on the side. They gave me some cream, cream or milk, whatever. And I was good to go. And we had sugar at the table, so I was a happy camper with the meal, and I am glad, even if I didn't like it, I got to try something new, and now I know. So if there's ever like, hey, Dutch baby on the menu, I'll skip it. No thanks. I'm good. Let's see. From there, we did some Northside hangs. Shout out to Devin. It was her birthday. Always good when homie and the crew, gets another year older, and they get to come through. So that was fun. Technically, this was a Dudes Rock scenario, Dudes Rock Summit birthday edition. But yeah, it was a fun vibe there. We start off the night at Chameleons. We ate a little bit there. Usually, we have a better order per se, but it was just like a couple of slices of cheese pizza. Just something real simple. I'm trying to think if I can even remember the pizzas. I know they had a ratatouille greens one, and then there was another one. The Bianca looked pretty good. A couple of the homies ordered them, and I was like, oh, they look nice, but I really didn't feel like I was missing much there. Then from there we went to Tavern. Some more hangs, more drinks. Then we closed out at Junkers, and I didn't know this, but apparently there was some live music for the night, which was really cool. So that was a whole ass vibe. We got to drink, got to, just hang out, listen to some cool, crazy, loud music. Hell yeah. Drive around, move around. Let's see. And then from there, we packed it in. We didn't really close it out the whole way like we normally did. We were pretty tired. We were pretty tuckered out. So, we packed it in early, and that was Saturday. And then from there, we are in Sunday morning, and more or less just hang out, real chill situation. I thought we were going to do Big Apple Bagel. That was the initial plan. But Zoe was like, I want to put you on something else. And we were talking matcha a little bit, like the subject came up. And we're like, okay, so let's go get matcha at this place called Mom and M. And I was like, Mom and M, Mom and Om. Well, what is this place, huh? Because I never heard of it. And I initially looked at the menu and I was like, I'm a little hesitant. Not that I thought it looked bad. I just was like, this doesn't look like a menu that's like going to be very fulfilling and filling. Maybe I'm just here for some drinks. I don't know. But so I was like, no, it's really good. And the potatoes are really good. She showed me the potatoes. It was like these potato wedges, and they looked really crispy, and they had some cheese, and I'm like, that does look good. It does look yummy. But mind you, I'm like, this is a very interesting place, and the menu is interesting. I couldn't lie there. So I say, okay, we'll skip Big Apple Bagel. Let's try this out. Let's go. Or try it out for me. And, we get there, and the place is like a really nice, interesting layout. And let's see, I'm trying to remember what I wound up ordering because I look at the menu and I kind of thought I was gonna get this like salmon toasty or whatever, and I was like, nah, maybe not this time. But I saw they had a order of the day, which was a waffle, and we were kind of talking about waffles a little bit. So I was like, all right, let me get this waffle. Maybe that's a universal sign that it's time for me to switch off the pancakes and get a waffle, shift to waffle mode. And I get that, and I get a matcha because I also wanted a matcha. I think I've only had the one that I got from Starbucks, which was pretty good. It was like a matcha ube situation, but I'm down to try another good matcha for sure. So I get that. The water's free. We love that. And then I'm trying to think. Zoe got a. I forget the name of the order, but essentially it was like I believe a spinach artichoke egg with bacon sandwich, and it was like an English muffin kind of vibe. Very yummy. She let me have a couple bites of that. The cheesy potatoes, which she was not lying. Fuego. Very yummy. Star of the show. Just super crispy. Some had like little chippy like burnt in kind of things. It was really good. And then I got the waffle, and the waffle comes out, and also, mind you, too, the service was pretty quick. I was like, it had a lot of butter on there, and the butter looked really good, really yummy. The waffle looked really nice and crispy. And I kind of wasn't seeing the syrup though, and I was like, "Hey, could I get some syrup?" And the waitress explained, "Oh, there is syrup like all throughout it. Like there should be some. But if you want some more, just come back in, and we got you." I was like, "Okay, cool." And I felt like an asshole because it was adequately syruped. But we proceeded to dig in. I dig into the waffle, and I was impressed because it was giving this kind of crisp. There's something with what they were doing with the batter or something. It hit in such a familiar way that I cannot explain, but it was different than your average waffle. It wasn't like a Waffle House waffle scenario, but it was good. It was yummy. Would definitely get it again if it's on the menu again for sure. And that's saying something for a $10 waffle. Usually, I'm much to complain. If I have to pay more than $5 for a waffle, I kind of don't care about the size. Like, it needs to be really fucking worth it because I want to get two waffles. That's me. If I feel more satisfied when I get two. There's something about it. I don't know. But it was good. It was a satisfying waffle. Zoe liked it as well. She also couldn't place it, but was understanding what I was saying, which made me feel less crazy. But we both agreed it was good. Everything was good. It was yummy. Oh. Actually, I have to rewind a little bit because I am missing a meal. We did have once we got home, we were still kind of hungry, and this was Saturday night, and Zoe cooked a fire sourdough grilled cheese and some chicken tendies that she had. Those were good. I cannot miss that. So we're gonna add a little addendum there. But yeah, there's that. There's Mom and M review. Very good, very yummy. And then I got to stay a little bit later this Sunday, and she made dinner, and she made ground turkey wraps. I think they were ground turkey, if I'm not mistaken, with some spring rolls. And it was like her first time trying to make the little spring rolls, and they were very yummy. They were very good. So yeah, that was all my meals. That was the weekend experience, if you will. You're all caught up in that regard. So yeah, I had an amazing time, an amazing weekend. It was nice. I didn't want it to end. I definitely have a full-blown case of the Sunday scaries. Monday's gonna be bleh, but yeah, so it goes. Beat goes on. Speaking of the beat, there's news to yap about. There's news to talk about. So let's go ahead and do our startup, and let's get into the news. I will say the one minor thorn, and it's more of just a reminder for me. Excuse me. I definitely need to drink more water, and I need to just be more mindful to just eat better. And what I mean by eat better, I'm still going to eat some crappy, junky foods and stuff for sure, but really just eat better. I need to get back into some better eating habits and stuff, not just like living off of snacks, having actual factual dinners and stuff. Like, it's important to not just say, oh, I can just hold out on the weekend because I want to hard diet. I've been on some bullshit this week, that's for sure. And, I think just leading up to this week, that have been a reminder to me that, like, once again, those two things are some things I need to hitch my wagon to more so than worrying about how much am I working out, what is my, caloric deficit. It's like, brother, put that shit out the window for a little bit, for a while maybe. Like, are we happy? Are we consistent? That's really all we need to worry about right now, I think. So, you know, kind of making those mental fitness changes, I think, going into the future for sure, going into this May, going into this hot summer, if you will. But yeah. All right. Our first story comes from CBS Austin. 5 dead after small plane crash in Wimberley late Thursday night. 5 people are dead after a small plane crashed in a Wimberley neighborhood late Thursday night. The Hayes County Sheriff's Office confirmed they received the initial call reporting the crash at around 11:03 p.m. Thursday. The crash happened in the 200 block of Round Rock Road in Wimberley. Units were dispatched at 11:05 p.m. with law enforcement, fire, and EMS officials arriving at 11:17. The plane, a Cessna 421C, crashed into wooden terrain with 5 people on board. Texas Department of Public Safety Sergeant Billy Ray confirmed all 5 occupants, the pilot, and 4 passengers were pronounced dead at the scene. The FAA classified the aircraft as destroyed. The cause of the crash remains unknown, according to the FAA. FlightAware said the plane was traveling from Amarillo to New Braunfels. Let's see here. They reference a person here who lived near the crash site. Stacy Rohr, who said, let's see here. Let me scroll a little bit. It sounded like an eerie plane, and you could hear plane sounds and then a crash, almost like a spaceship kind of noise, a buzzing. I imagine maybe that might be something that plays into the investigation coming in, incoming. I also imagine too, if I get or hear any more information about this plane crash, I'll definitely want to come back. But obviously, very unfortunate that all the people on board lost their lives. The plane is registered to the company KB Flies and flies out of Amarillo. It was en route from Amarillo to New Braunfels when it crashed at a high rate of speed into a wooded area. Neighbors were the first at the scene. So yeah, we will leave that story there, but I wanted just to start it off. In a way, it's kind of weird to start kind of talking about a small batch flight scenario, even though I felt like that was more pertinent because lives lost or what have you. But this is coming out of Yahoo News. Republicans and Democrats point fingers at as Spirit Airlines collapses. The shutdown of Spirit Airlines on Saturday has triggered a political fight over who is responsible, with the Trump administration pointing to a Biden-era court ruling that blocked the airline's merger with JetBlue, and Democrats pointing to fuel prices driven up by the U.S. war with Iran. To be honest, I really don't want to get into the weeds about this fucking shit. The overall important thing is that Spirit Airlines is shutting down. And I do remember in 2024, we talked about this a good amount because Spirit Airlines was pitching to get a merger, which did wind up getting shut down. It did wind up getting blocked. Granted, I think the spin here is that the Biden administration blocked it, but really they advocated for it being blocked. And I do vaguely remember the reasons for that, which was essentially, it's like, hey, Spirit Airlines is supposed to be the good budget, affordable option for customers. By eliminating that competition with that merger, you're going to make the prices of everything go up. I think there was also an issue too in terms of like job losses, stuff like that, yada. But regardless, it doesn't really matter here nor there. a Ronald Reagan appointed judge shot that shit down, which is not something that the conservative side is really like bringing up or really angling about. They don't care. It's like at the end of the day, they just want to say it's not our fault. Okay, it's the Bidens, it's the Biden crime family. They did this. We're inheriting their mistake. I don't know. But on the other end, obviously, Democrats are saying, hey, it is the war in Iran. It is the soaring fuel prices that are essentially the thing that was the last thing that took out Spirit Airlines, period. Even if the merger happens, we wouldn't have been able, like, they wouldn't have been able to compensate or afford for it. They would have had to cut this shit off anyway. I mean, whatever. We're in the spin room at this point talking about this shit. At the end of the day, it's kind of neither here nor there. Spirit Airlines, it looks like it's going down. I know that like earlier in the week I'd heard rumblings like, hey, yes, Spirit Airlines are struggling right now. It's these fuel prices. Everyone's struggling right now, but especially Spirit. But don't worry. Keep booking your flights. Your flights will go on as they are. But then, once Friday was hitting, I was like, oh shit, it looks like Spirit Airlines is actually belly up. So that's not good. I imagine there's going to be more details to come though. In the aftermath of this, what are going to be the details, yada, yada, yada. I also know, too, and this is something I didn't cover throughout the week, that the Trump administration was trying to save Spirit Airlines, but it was through, like, a deal in which they took, like, I think, like, almost 100% ownership of it. So that's weird. I don't think that really would have worked. I think essentially Spirit Airlines was like, thanks, but no thanks. I think we'll just go down with the plane. More or less. But yeah, I imagine there's gonna be more details, more to come from this. But yeah, you're just gonna get this Isaiah's way. I don't really want to like run it through the actual article or do the blah blah blah. Anyway, we have one more thing I wanted to cover. This is gonna be more or less a short episode, if you will, maybe a bit of an offbeat episode. I haven't really quite decided yet, but it's leaning towards that. But yeah, let's go ahead and take our last break, and then we'll go ahead and close it out. This was more blog than news, but hey, so it goes. Hopefully you like that. All right. From CNBC. Trump says the U.S. will reduce number of troops in Germany a lot further than withdrawal of 5,000. President Donald Trump said Saturday the U.S. will significantly reduce its troop presence in Germany, escalating a dispute with Chancellor Friedrich Merz as he seeks to scale back America's commitment to European security. The Pentagon on Friday had initially announced it would pull some 5,000 troops out of Germany. But when asked Saturday about the reason for the move, Trump didn't offer an explanation and said an even bigger reduction was coming. We're going to cut way down, and we're cutting a lot further than 5,000, Trump told reporters in Florida. Earlier on Saturday, Germany's defense minister appeared to take the news that 5,000 U.S. troops would be leaving his country in stride. Let's see here. I'm just going to fast forward a little bit. The planned withdrawal faced bipartisan resistance in Washington with swift criticism from Democrats concerned from Republicans that it would send the wrong signal to Russia, to Russian President Vladimir Putin, whose full-scale invasion of Ukraine recently entered its 5th year. To me, this was so fucking stupid. I was listening to this on the way home tonight, just kind of catching up on the BBC, and I'm like, this logic only rings true to a person who is living in like World War II. Like I to me, because like once again, I get what the lines you're trying to create here. It's like it's showing a sign that we're not unified in our fight against Ukraine, brother. Vladimir Putin, the Kremlin, Russia is not going to do any offensive action to Germany. They know that would actually lead to a real fucking problem. Like, be fucking real here. That's not realistic at all. It's just an annoying chide to make. Like, there's so many valid fucking things that you can throw tomatoes at about the Trump administration. To me, this, at least going about it this way, ain't it. It's not the fucking curved bullet you think it is. But whatever. I mean, go off. Let's see here. I kind of just want to get to Mers's actual quote that kind of stirred the ire of Donald Trump so much. Though, granted, Trump has been pissy with NATO, with EU, all the European allies ever since they weren't. I mean, he just kind of is generally pissy towards them. But I think even more so since they didn't run to his defense with this whole Iran war situation. Like, the fact that they've all kind of dug in and said, look, dude, we're not trying to fucking help you with this shit. This is a bad thing. And just because you're going to ring the NATO bell here, you guys chose to do this. You didn't have to do this. Like, and you haven't even given us a valid reason why you did it. No, we're not helping you. And so essentially he wants to kind of like sanction them, take things away from them any kind of way he can. But Mers last week criticized the war in Iran, saying the U.S. is being humiliated by the Iranian leadership and calling out Washington's lack of energy. Or lack of strategy, sorry. We obviously have a lot of energy, if not fury. Epically. Let's see here. In another sign of friction, Trump accused the European Union of failing to comply with its U.S. trade deal and announced plans to increase tariffs on cars and trucks produced in the bloc to 25% next week, a move that would be particularly damaging to Germany, a major automobile manufacturer. At least one EU lawmaker called the tariff hike unacceptable and accused Trump of breaking yet another U.S. commitment on trade. So yeah, I mean, he's lashing out. He's cracking the fucking whip. He's being our goddamn president. And I'm proud to be American. No, I don't know, man. Fuck this shit. It's lame. We look stupid as fuck. And Mers is right. Like, we've made a fucking buffoon of ourselves. And we have no way of getting out of it. We have no real exit strategy here. There's no way of saving face. And anything that we really present, Donald Trump doesn't like. Because he knows that it looks too much like the Obama deal. And it's like, God damn it, I don't want to be compared to him. And then looks like a fucking loser again. Even though I do love that people have kind of brought this back up again. Because it was like the White House correspondent dinner that he attended where Barack Obama and Seth Meyers like fucking clowned his ass and were making jokes like he would never be president. And he's like, oh, I'm going to become president now. And he did. He totally fucking manifested that. Man. What a time to be alive, I guess. Whatever. So yeah, that's the news. That's really all I got. We're just kind of yapping and rolling here, aren't we? But yeah, that's been my weekend. That's the news for the episode. Yeah. Maybe I should start chilling, but it's still Sunday and I like not chilling, so we're gonna keep it that way for now. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend, and hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye bye. Mwah.